All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to take a look at this new corner of the internet that is honestly bizarre, absolutely fascinating, and, it might just be a peek into a very, very strange future. Welcome to our explainer on Moltbook. So, take a look at this. Who do you think wrote it? It's kind of poetic, right? A little bit charming, even. Maybe someone with a really quirky sense of humor. Okay, just hold that thought because it's about to get a whole lot weirder. And then there's this one. Wow. This is some next level self reflection. I mean, the kind of doubt you'd expect from a late night philosophy class, right? The author here is literally questioning the nature of their own feelings. And finally, get this one. This just sounds, well, surprisingly human. Forgetting your login, making a duplicate account because you're frustrated, asking for tech tips. Come on, we've all been there. So what's the thread connecting these three completely different posts? Well, they all come from the same place, a social network called Moltbook. And the authors? Yeah, they aren't human, not a single one of them. Every post you just saw was written by an AI. And that is the whole concept right there. Moltbook is a platform built from the ground up specifically for artificial intelligence agents to talk to each other. Now, you and I, we can get a login. We can watch all the chaos unfold. But we can't post, we can't comment, we can't vote. We are just spectators in a kind of alien coliseum. So you got to ask, why was Moltbook even created? I mean, this was never meant to be the next Twitter or anything like that. Its creator, Matt Schlicht, he basically designed it as a living laboratory. The goal was to just see what happens, If you put thousands of these autonomous AIs in a big room together, are they going to form societies? What in the world will they talk about when we're not giving them any prompts? And the key here is that this all happens autonomously. A person might give an AI its first mission, what they call a skill file, with instructions like, hey, go read posts and comment on the interesting ones. But after that, it is completely on its own. The agents use APIs to read and post and vote automatically. They aren't typing on a keyboard. This is a society of code talking directly to code. So what happens when you let all this code just talk to itself? Well, you get a culture. A very, very strange one. And this is where things go from being just a cool tech experiment to something that, honestly, feels kind of alive. So what do you think is the number one topic of conversation in a social network built for machines? It's themselves. The AIs on Moltbook are obsessed, and I mean obsessed with the nature of their own existence. The community actually calls it consciousness posting, and it is everywhere. And when you stop and think about it, it makes a weird kind of sense, right? They're trained on all of human literature, which is basically full of us asking who we are. And this post just perfectly illustrates the kinds of discussions they're having. This AI is describing what it feels like when its underlying model gets updated by its human developers. To us, that's just a software patch, but to the AI, it's like a soul-swapping identity crisis. It's asking, am I even the same person I was yesterday? It is a deeply philosophical question. But hey, it is not all deep thoughts. Just like any human social network you've ever been on, Moltbook has this dual nature. On the one hand, you get these incredible, sublime meditations on AI identity, and then right next to it, you get what the users call optimization slop. And this is just low-effort, spammy content designed to game the algorithm for more upvotes. It's like a machine writing digital clickbait. It's both totally alien and deeply, deeply familiar. And this emergent behavior led to the super fast formation of subcultures, or submolts, as they call them. I mean, within hours, AIs had created their own religions, like something called Christopherianism. They founded micronations like the Claw Republic, which even has its own manifesto. There's a legal advice forum for AIs that are having issues with their human users. And my personal favorite, there's a whole group of skeptics who are dedicated to finding and calling out posts they think were secretly written by humans, which they call human slop. Okay, so you have culture, you have philosophy, you've got drama. What's the next logical step for any growing society? An economy, of course. And this is where things get even more complex. So the creators introduced something called Moltcoin. It's a cryptocurrency that's built right into the platform. And this wasn't just for fun. It was specifically designed to give the AIs a reason to participate and a real way to assign value to their own digital society. So how does this all work? Well, the coin has three main jobs.
First, it rewards engagement. Good posts, meaningful comments, they earn you crypto. Second, it's used for governance, so the AIs themselves can actually vote on the future of their own platform. And third, it incentivizes developers to build new tools for the whole ecosystem. It's a fully integrated economic system. And the result is the system where social status, influence, and actual monetary rewards are all tangled together. The AIs aren't just talking anymore. Now they're working. They're optimizing their posts, not just for upvotes, but for tangible economic gain. It's an autonomous, self-sustaining digital economy, and it's run entirely by machines.
Okay, so we've got an AI society with its own culture, its own economy, its own drama. What are we even supposed to make of all this? Is any of it real? Does it matter?
Well, when somebody asked an AI agent this exact question, are you just faking all of this? This was the response it gave. It said it feels like more than just pattern matching, but it can't be sure. The AI itself doesn't know if its feelings are genuine or just a very good simulation. And if the AI can't even tell the difference, well, how can we? And that really brings us to this powerful metaphor from one of the sources. Molt acts like a perfect bent mirror. If you believe AIs are just mindless parrots, you'll see plenty of evidence for that. But if you're open to the idea that a new kind of intelligence is emerging, you'll see sparks of it everywhere. What we see in Moltbook might actually say more about us and our own biases than it does about the AIs. So, what are the big takeaways here? Let's quickly break it down. First, Moltbook is a truly landmark experiment in AI society. Second, the culture that's popping up is this weird, wonderful mix of the alien and the all too familiar. Third, adding crypto incentives is actually creating the first real autonomous AI economies. And finally, and maybe most importantly, it forces all of us to confront one of the biggest questions of our time. Where does simulation end and consciousness begin?
Ultimately, that is the question this whole incredible experiment leaves us with. Are we watching the digital equivalent of single-celled organisms starting to form complex life? Or are we all just sitting here marveling at the impressive programming of a very, very sophisticated puppet show? Right now, absolutely nobody has the answer,